tried your best, Helen. I'm glad you're safe now.
We aren't really safe here, are we?
So long as Gareth returns, we'll be. You're certain it was Verdes?
He said his name, but he didn't do that much.
You tried your best, Helen.
You're alive! Wasn't sure you would be. Samadel, this is the one I told you about.
The dishevelled lizard eyes you with hope, though her hope is tinged with mistrust.
Han tells me you helped him out of Fort Joy. For that, you have my thanks.
We helped each other. That's what sorcerers need to do nowadays.
Can I ask if... Did you happen to meet a man named Gareth on your way here?
He'll be back, Samadel. I know he will. He has to.
He has to, indeed. We need our leader. And if he doesn't return with help soon, we haven't a hope. You're kind to offer, but you'd best talk to Gareth's squire, Exeter. He'll know where your talents can be most used. Now, Han, let's take a look at your nasty leg injury.
Catch you later, Skipper. It's good you're here.
The young woman chews her lower lip as she observes the injured before her. She bends to grab a rag, wiping her blood-smeared hands. She looks up and sees you.
If you're looking for healing, sorcerer, well, there's not much I can do.
The woman wrings the blood-stained rag in her hands anxiously.
Magisters aren't known for their mercy. Many of us died. And the ones here will likely follow the same fate, by a slower road. I've done all I can. Their wounds are too great. All I can offer them now is prayer and a cup of water. If you know a way, I'd be beyond grateful. Do what you will. Just don't cause them any more suffering. Mateys, let me change your dressing.
Oh, in an instant. My wounds have all but vanished. I didn't think. I was certain I wouldn't. Thank you. The Magister flagship. It has ballastay that tore our ship into kindling. A shard from our own mast pierced my side. I'm lucky the others managed to haul me all the way here.
He shudders at the memory.
They turn the living into shriekers. Crucified wretches that unleash pure destruction on anyone who tries to pass. Nobody survives those things. I wish I had a fitting way to thank the person who saved my life. As it is, all I can offer is, well, it's not much, but maybe you'll find some use for it. Thank you. The fog is lifting.
You healed me. How did you... Oh, never mind. I don't care how. I only care that today won't be my last. I don't remember much. I barely had time to realize the Magisters were attacking before I was injured. The last thing I saw were these things, these shriekers. Those Magisters are gonna pay in blood for what they did to us. If my mother were here, she'd box my ears for not being able to thank you properly. Though I reckon that walloping from the Reds was punishment enough. Take this, at least. It'll have to do. Thank you.
Make sure all of them shake their
See to the others.
Ellen, how do you have so much power?
You've healed us. All of us.
I owe you a debt. We all do. The Magisters attacked our camp back at the harbour. I caught one of their arrows right in my side. That would have been a slow death. I've seen it before.
He lands a comradely slap on your back. His strength has definitely returned.
Don't you doubt it. This old war serpent's still got some fight left in him. Especially now that wound is healed.
Healed?
Healed?
They're going to be all right. Thank you. Thank you. Gods above, thank you.
Illusion's locked. Stop fidgeting, lad.
What? Please. Water.
Thanks. I feel a lot better. Sure glad you made it here.
Samadel smiles with relief at Han's healed leg, bowing gently in thanks when your eyes meet.
The fog is lifting.
Something has changed. You are you, but more. You are another, but not. You look to your hands, your belly, your feet. Flesh you don't know, molded into unfamiliar shapes. You cradle your aching head, where another's memories and wisdoms mix with your own. Your fingers trace a line from your head to your face, feeling not the creases of the mask, but the porous surface of new skin. You lower your arm, blink twice, and step forward in this new guise. You see him coming for you. You saw what he did to the others. You pray, you pray, you pray, you pray. A sea voyage. Children and adults huddled together for warmth and comfort. You were a slave to the ancient empire not so long ago. A deluge of happiness. You played the flute. You wrote poetry. The music ended in forced joy. Your many years twinkle behind you like distant stars, tiny but beautiful. You smell wheat ale. You hear a chorus in a tavern. You feel joy. You are floating a few inches above the ground. Your friends are impressed. You bask in their hoots and hollers. Your favorite party trick. You hardly recognize him, but there he is, Alexander. You're shocked to see a sorcerer's collar around his neck. He seems so different now compared to how he looked back in school. Early memories are overshadowed by a terrifying death, a tempest of teeth, scales, and snarls. You never imagined it would end like this. You are ever sodden, ever sandy. The smell of guts and sea waste cling to you like a ghost. You sought freedom, the life of a seaman, but you didn't find it. You were a tough, dwarven smith of great experience and talent. You wanted to make a name for yourself, but you ran out of time. You are nothing. You are no one. You do not exist. Not really. You had a taste for wine and ale, as well as a variety of other sensual pleasures. Life is a coffer replete with countless delights. You are nothing. You are no one. You do not exist. Not really. Your mind is empty as a new moon. Something seems to have cleared it out, scrubbed the corners, bleached the halls. The nothingness is oddly comfortable. Looking around Fort Joy, you feel excited. A new environment to explore, new people to meet, new challenges to overcome. Who knows what could happen here? You thought hard on the location of your fortune before passing. You wanted an elf to find it. You urge whoever tastes your flesh to go and enjoy what you cannot. A single name throbs across your brain. Verdas, Verdas, Verdas! He must escape. He cannot die here. He cannot! You eat Griff's hand, and you see him putting animals, dead for days in the blistering sun, whole into his cooking pot. Probably best to pass on the stew. You cover your face with your hands. You've just heard the news. The elven homelands have been destroyed by death fog. It was your order who did it. How can this be? As the dead man's flesh slides down your throat, you feel his consciousness enter yours. His memories are yours to experience. You are Finn. Your heart is heavy. You know too much. It's all too much. You met him. A bright light blinds you, then fades. You feel a tremendous power in your hands, but they are shaking so hard you can barely use them. Suddenly you're on this very ship, crouched in a corner, hugging your knees. A figure approaches, an older woman. Her eyes are kind. She comes closer. She says she wants to talk. She reaches a hand toward you. You grasp it. The memories end. You are no longer Finn. You return to yourself with a jolt.
The seven watch o'er us. You're
A
safe
young
from
man in
death.
oversized armor paces around a table covered with a spread of maps, his face a tight scowl of frustration.
Every approach blocked. Damn it! What good are battle tactics against those things anyway?
He glances up. In quick succession, he becomes aware of both your presence and the fact that you're not a familiar face.
Who the blazes are you? Ifan, eh? On the run from Fort Joy, are you? A seeker can always recognize a sorcerer when they see one. You meant Verdus? Oh, then he's as good as dead. We're the seekers he spoke of. We were supposed to free him. Instead, we failed him. You, a Godwoken? Surely not. Though if Verdus said so, you could be important. But there's no way to be certain until we've left this blasted island behind us.
The young man anxiously fidgets with his curved bow. You've found a matter close to his heart, evidently.
That's easier said than done, I'm afraid. Much easier said. Yet the Magisters have us cornered. They have these weapons called Shriekers. If we try to go against them unprepared, we're dead. We've lost many already. There's weapons, ancient devices that can counter those things. Our leader, Sir Gareth, set out to find them so we could break the Magister blockade and escape this island. But he hasn't returned. If Sir Gareth doesn't come back with those weapons in tow, well, this island will be our grave. You'll help us?
His shoulders visibly relax, the weighty armor upon them settling with a clink.
Thank you. Allies are in short supply in this place. If you help us, I promise, we'll get you as far away from this place as possible. Please, ask. Whatever helps.
Wisht, bonny barn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky.
Please, Anna. Bless
The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes
Smoke and
and
screams.
rest your wee head.
Echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
He works fast, checking weapons to see if they're battle-ready.
The blade is thirsty. Now, what can I do you for? more junk. If I had a forge, I could do something.
Boring.
Please, bless and protect your humble servant.
A young man in oversized armor places...
Smoke and screamers. Gareth, please come back.
Wish money bar, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky.
Every approach blocked. Oh, damn it.
He glances at...
Who the blazes are you?
Rest head.
Oh, look at you. Tell me, do you always slink around with the air of a child caught drawing naughty pictures in church? What are you so afraid of, lad? Daddy's bell? Or is it Daddy's... pecker? Oh, I really don't feel like chatting now. Why don't you go home to your wife and kids? Maybe follow your grease trail back here another day. Give them my regards. Until we meet again, Daddy. Ha! Here today, gone tomorrow.
An illusion.
Life's a dream.
This fellow must be quite proud of himself. Ha! Clever.
Didn't I tell you to leave? Wasn't I clear that you're not welcome here? Ugh, you can't teach a fool anything.
yield to none.
What a fool you are. In what world does treasure simply appear from on high?
Look out. I see a trap nearby. Careful now. That's a trap.
You see yourself in the mirror. It's quite a sight.
You come to find. You come to search. But you won't find the way. A pity. Braccus has willed it. Trompdoy must abide. You have met the unfortunate guardian of this vault. You are kinder to him than fate has been. Do you wish to move forward? Listen closely and make your attempt. Braccus is a bloody, rotten, thieving, very, very awful fellow. Some even call him a cur. A cur is... either you're very good at guessing or the slightest bit clever. Let's find out for certain. Listen closely and make your attempt. Source is a scourge, a devil, a misery, a blight, a hex, a curse. And yet, the cure is... Perhaps you're not totally incapable after all. Or maybe Trompdoy told you the answers, is that it? Is he hoping you'll... It doesn't matter in any case. The path is open. Go freely. I know little, but you have proven yourself a knowing traveler. I will answer what I can. Braccus Rex discovered the way. This he researched here, upon this isle. He could remove the source from any creature or individual. I saw the stars he used myself. They were most impressive. Braccus Rex has charged him, tried him, convicted and punished him. I know not the crime, but he has been sentenced to remain in this vault for all time and to prevent others from entering. Trompdoy was and is a creative man. He knew petty magic in his day. But this he has used to carve this place out from a simple vault, myself included.
Open your eyes. Time to die.
Yield to none. Prepare yourself. Show yourself.
Glory is mine. Glory is mine.
You won't know what hit you.
I'll yield to none. Prepare yourself.
You don't hear, but feel a whisper in your ear. It tells you to slip the ring onto your finger.
That's plenty.
The jar on the plinth before you seems ancient, but is in surprisingly good condition. It's covered in pictograms that you can't understand, but you're sure you just saw one of them move. The pictograms spin to life, and you're dragged into a dream. You see the lizards of the ancient empire turning their backs on you, casting you out into the wilderness. As you roam, the human apes turn away from you, all but one. One smiles, one opens his arms, one says he'll take you home. Braccus Rex. He promises power for a price. He picks off your golden scales, one by one, stripping you down to the bone. He promised you a crown, but all you got was shackles. You try to fight, try to reclaim what's yours, but a woman takes you by the hand and leads you to a tower. He promised he'd take me home, you cry. You are home, she smiles as she seals the door. This is where you belong. Your hand drops away from the soul jar, your skin prickling. In the back of your mind, you hear a small, scared voice whimper before fading to nothing.
Lucky find.
The long-dead lizard's visions fade.
This is the price of pride and greed. The villain got what he deserved.
The soul jar stands on its plinth, glowing softly. From within, you can almost hear the whisper of a voice. You see, or rather, you feel a far-off land. Frozen breath hangs in the air, pine needles brush your cheeks, and in your arms you can feel a weight. A body, dead. But you have hope. Your vision swims. You're older, but perhaps not wiser. You march at the head of a shambling host, the enemies of Braccus Rex melting before you. The scene twists again. Now Braccus stands before you, a beautiful woman at his side. You lash out in treasonous rage, but cold arms bind you. You're sealed away in a tower. Your screams fill the darkness. You feel a jolt and open your eyes to see the soul jar before you, lying still in the vault. Your hand falls from the jar and grips the pillar as you try to calm your ragged breathing.
Good find.
The necromancer's memories fade to black, but the feelings remain.
The memories of a necromancer. What could be more vile?
This jar glitters and glows. From within, you think you can make out the distant sound of laughter. With a jerk, your mind is pulled to a scene in a tavern. You see a dwarf in the center of the room, joking us all around roar with laughter. All bar the zombies, who are slavishly serving food and drink. The door opens, and a tall, beautiful woman stalks into the room. She's flanked by heavily armed guards. You can't make out her words, but see the fear in the dwarf's eyes. The dwarf mutters a word, and the undead lurch towards the intruder, but are cut down like wheat. The dwarf tries to run, pushing her friends into the woman's path, but is grabbed before she can escape. As she's dragged away to a tower, you hear her cursing Braccus Rex and his whore. Even when she's thrown inside and the door sealed, you can still hear her shouts. You pull your hand away from the jar, your head swimming. You can feel the dwarf's cold terror still twisting in your gut.
Lucky find.
The vision fades.
I've rarely seen such cowardice on display.
The jar before you may have looked opulent once, but no longer. Now it's covered in grime, its paint chipped away, and its jewels long stolen. The soul jar rocks slightly, light flashing from underneath its lid. On its rim, you can just barely make out the name Gratiana. As soon as you touch the jar's cracked surface, you see a vision of splendor, silks, fine food, and decadent lechery. But underneath it all lies bone and blood. The vision shifts. You see burning villages, slaughtered women and children. You see her, purging wand in hand, standing amongst it all. She throws her head back and laughter echoes in your skull. A shadow falls across her, and you see a large, weeping face. She reaches out as if to comfort, but Braccus drags her back. You see her fall into the mire of the swamp, trapped. As you pull your hand away, you can feel a deep, longing sadness in your soul. Is it regret, or just sadness for a life that used to be?
Nice.
The terrible vision fades.
Well, she lived a selfish life. She seems to have repented. She should be forgiven.
You made it all this way.
He trembles and seems to shudder with a quiet sob.
I'm cursed, you know. Bloody Braccus bound me here to protect his vault. He has my soul in that jar just there, and I can't leave without it. As long as the jar stays unbroken, I can never truly die. I don't rightly know. This was the Source King's way. Befriend you, then destroy you. I was a fool to expect I'd be an exception. His favor was intoxicating. That's no excuse, but it is the reason. Really? You would?
He He drops to his knees before you and grabs onto your feet with both hands, head hanging.
Thank you.
Nice. Look at that wand. It hums with inner source.
The deity's head and hands are missing, severed as if by a sword. You can't tell if this was meant to be symbolic somehow, or a mere act of vandalism. As you take in its chiseled details, you have a vision. The statue comes to life and embraces you awkwardly with its broken arms. Unable to resist, you're flown away into an endless dark.
That shrine seems to have brought me here. What is this place?
The ethereal figure before you raises the visor of his highly polished helm. Beneath it, his handsome face is weary, yet his eyes burn fierce and bright. He glowers at you with disgust.
You pray not at my shrines. Can't say I'm surprised. You, my most wayward cub.
He spits over his shoulder, folding thick arms across his steel-bound chest.
You don't recall me, do you? I am Rallic, prime among the seven, and father of all humans. Father of you. I preferred you as a child, pious and devout, remember? I called you to follow me, and so you did.
Rallic gazes at your upright form, a contemptuous frown creasing his face.
Look at you now. My child, a killer for hire. You can't hide. I see the dead who whisper your name as they pass the threshold of the halls of echoes. And who's to blame? Yes, you've taken a low road, Ifan. But you're not dead yet. Are you just going to fulfill contracts forever?
He stares at you. As you gaze back into his deep green eyes, you feel your whole consciousness following. You notice every shade of stone within, from iridescent emerald to flecks of grey. The verdant pools encompass you. There is nothing else, nothing but Rallic's eyes. Suddenly, a vision coalesces. You see yourself, the bright and zealous crusader you once were. You are breathless, scouting through deep forest. You are racing with a message of utmost importance for the elven people. You make it to civilization. Too late. An explosion devastates the beating heart of the elven city. Ancestor trees thud to earth, strong trunks crack even louder than the horrified screams. A fetid miasma pulls the air. Gasping on the fumes, you are dragged to safety by a wolf who appears out of nowhere. He pulls you free, clawing an elven woman who gets in your way. She collapses, wheezing under the choking dust. She clutches your ankle with her hand, gripped tight as of ice. As you reach down to help, her hand falls away, lifeless. Through the haze, the death fog, you see her dead eyes, black and staring. Through her lifeless eyes you fall. You see them, Legion. The thousands slain that day, those you were too late to save. The hundreds slain by your own hand since then. Mountains of corpses and rivers of blood. You see the motherless children left behind. The scarred slaves sold to the highest bidder. Choices you made, contracts you took. The army of the lost gaze at you silently, their loathing and reproach palpable. Encased in pitch black of deadest night, you know not which way is up and which way down. Vertigo spins your senses as you see the consequences of each choice you made, one damning choice after another. The guilt you tried to escape from lies here, bare, throbbing. It was waiting for you here all along, in this filthy chamber at the base of your rotten heart. Your pain pulses, ebbs and flows, undammed. You widen your eyes, striving to see further, but a stinging slap drags you back to reality. Rallick stands before you, gimlet eyes hard now. He slaps you again, harder.
Pity won't bring them back. Nothing can bring them back. But you can yet come back yourself. Long ago, you turned your face away from all that is light. Turn back to me, and you could yet save others. Could save all.
Rallick slaps you again, full force. He stares into your eyes with challenge.
That's what I'm looking for. That Crusader courage. The courage to stand up for what's right.
Rallick punches you full in the face. You feel a familiar sensation as the delicate bones of your oft-broken nose give way. He catches your arm in one vice-like fist and dangles you above the ground. He laughs and shakes you like a rag doll. You feel rage surge within you, barely containable. Feel it electrifying the blood in your veins, pumping through you. You feel like yourself. Rallick smirks and releases you.
That's it, Ben Mesd. That fierce spark of zeal is why I chose you, why I saved you from that sinking ship. You tried to hide it behind apathy, but the light shines through. Embrace who you really are. Why did you become a Crusader in the first place? You heard my call, not Lucian's. So fight for me. I need you. The Seven didn't abandon Rivlon. We are trapped here, powerless and squabbling. You, ruthless son of humanity, you will be my champion in the world. You are my God-woken. Don't let that spark become a flame that devours you. I chose you for your wildness, yet I can leash you if needed. I will grant you my blessing, fierce wolf. It will aid you on the path out of this place. And then, we will have words again.
Rallick steps towards you, solemn of face and bearing. He raises his right hand and presses it upon your heart. A surge of warmth and well-being rushes through you.
You may have noticed I've tried to help you on your journey. I blessed the water beneath your feet so that it would aid you. Now, you have the power for yourself. And this is only the beginning. More and greater powers await you, if only you will seek them. Only one like you can wield them. Now go, God-woken. Go with my blessing. Let it remind you always of who you are. My Crusader. In time, I will ask more of you. But now, your goal is simple. Survive. Escape the grasp of those who would imprison you, who would break you, who would limit your true potential. My child, you and you alone must rise above the reach of minor people. But before you lope away, let me ask. You are traveling with company, yes? Be aware, they are not your friends. They are your rivals. They are God-woken too. But you are the one who will be a god, none other. Keep your claws sharpened and your eyes bright and keen. See everything from two sides. Take the wolf that saved you, that follows you so dutifully. Watch him. The wildest animals often turn and bite the hand that feeds them. Until we meet again, my child.
The deity's head and hands are missing. You hear a sharp chittering from the ground. It seems your squirrel friend is having an argument with his cat. After a quick back and forth, the squirrel throws up its paws and reaches out to touch your foot. You feel a strange new power fill your body. The squirrel sits back, sulking, and the cat struts away cheerfully.
Out of the frying pan and into... You know what? You've heard that one before, so let's try a new one. Shite's all mucked up. Yeah, seems more to the point, doesn't it? Is that so? Look, I don't know where you've been and what you saw, but I believe you believe it. And I guess that's what matters, yeah? Well, it just so happens that getting off islands is my speciality. I'm like the Aeolus of escaping islands. Get it? Aeolus! No? Fine, you get the gist though. So, here's the thing. Where there's a sea, there's boats. Boom. Simple as that. We'll find one docked, or one will sail by, and... Well, as you probably figured, I'm good at stealing boats.
Wished bonny bar, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Please, Armadio, bless and protect your humble servant.
Smoke and screams, echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
Blessings be. What can I do for you, honored one?
She stops dead as you pull the jar out of your backpack. Her voice trembles as she speaks.
You entered the vault. Please, give that to me. Give it to me now. It matters not. All that matters is that you give it to me.
She reaches greedily for the jar, tearing the cap off. You see a green glowing light emerge from the jar, enveloping Gratiana.
By Armadia, I feel wet. Oh, goddess, I can feel your tears upon my face. I suppose you deserve to know. Before I knew Armadia's grace, I was a very different person. I was the concubine of Braccus Rex. But more than his lover, I was his partner. I discovered his power to feed on the source of others, and I allowed it to... No, I made it happen. You don't understand. No one understands. My heart held such fear, but with Braccus, I was safe. He needed me, and I needed him. As his strength grew, so too did mine. There is nothing you cannot do when you sit on the lap of a powerful king. And I did it all. But power changes a man, as he changes his nation. Braccus grew paranoid, angry, murderous. I tried not to see it. I told myself it was fine, that the stronger he became, the stronger I was. What stupid lies. I gave him more and more, trying to win him back to me. I offered him the source of whole villages. He devoured them and demanded more. The lands outside were once green and beautiful, until I came, until I turned them over to him. Now all's poison, and the dead are restless. Armadia is merciful in her love. I found this shrine while hunting a band of wizards. I found the goddess weeping for her children, and I wept too.
She pauses for a moment. If she had eyes, you're sure she'd be wiping them.
Through Armadia, I saw my sins, and I could bear it no longer. I threw myself from the cliff at the entrance. I tried to rid the world of my evil, but Braccus would not allow it. He brought me back from the Hall of Echoes, locked my soul away, and demanded my obedience. Even in death, he commanded me. Only when 2 source hunters ended his curse was I free. Since then, I have returned here and spent centuries trying to heal the pain I've caused. And now...
She drops the now empty soul jar to the ground, smashing it to pieces with her foot.
You have my thanks, brother.
She starts to speak, but chokes back a sob instead.
Thank you. I can't... I've never known such kindness. Thank you for everything. May you walk forever in Armadia's grace.
Wished bonny barn, now don't you cry.
Smoke and screams.
The birds are
Echoes of
asleep,
death.
the moon's in the sky.
Gareth.
The 7
Please
will
come
show
back.
us you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Before you stands a figure. Her body...
Armadia's blessings, child. I have not seen this face in our sanctuary before. Pray, who are you?
Smoke and screams. Echoes of death.
Wished, Bonnie Baron, now don't you cry.
Please come back.
The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Very well. Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
Wished, Bonnie Baron, now don't you cry.
Echoes of death.
The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky.
Please come back.
The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
Wished, Bonnie Baron,
Smoke
now
and
don't
screams.
you cry.
Echoes of death.
The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky.
Please come back.
The seven watch o'er us.
Hailed? I'm hailed.
What have you done? I was so close. I could see the light. I could almost feel her touch again. You ruined it. You ruined it.